up, family? It's your girl, Just Be Nice. Happy Friday! And it's not just any Friday, it is Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth to my people. What? Happy Juneteenth, everybody. I hope all is well. Hope you guys are having a great day. I'm just so elated with everything that's happening, everything that's going on. Because to be honest, as I was growing up, Juneteenth was not really something that was truly discussed. It was nothing that was really celebrated. You heard about it, but it was nothing done about it, right? And so to scroll on my social media and just to see so much solidarity and just, people just proud to be Black, it's just like, it's such an awesome awakening. You know what I'm saying? And I was just sitting here thinking, like, this is so dope. And I was kind of disappointed in myself in not really pushing the importance behind Juneteenth, or at least the history behind Juneteenth, and how much it has impacted us as African Americans. Growing up as a kid, and in school, I'm just trying to pass the class. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna learn what I need to learn and move on, and so I can come on with them A's and B's. But it's so great to see, again, the solidarity within us, as well as people of other race. It's so beautiful to see. And so there was a question that was posed to a gentleman, and the question was, what does Juneteenth mean to you? And his response is what piqued my curiosity. He pretty much, just to sum up what he said, was that it was a bittersweet day. It was bittersweet because, yes, we were officially freed, right? If you don't know the history of Juneteenth, go ahead and Google it real quick. Google even put up a little video. If you click on the little Google thing, it pulls up a whole video. So anyway, so back to the story. So his response was, it was bittersweet because, yes, we were freed, but we weren't set up to succeed. Or be successful citizens as our white counterparts, and meaning in buying land, being business owners, education, any type of work or training, anything of that nature. And I never even thought about it like that. And I'm like, that is so true. And so because of that, it piqued my interest on why, or what actually happened after Juneteenth was declared, right? So there's a whole lot of history. There's a whole lot of history that I have to relearn, because as I was reading through some of this stuff, I was just like, yeah, I remember that, but I don't remember. You know what I mean? Because it's been so long. And so I just wanted to pull out some key things that I feel like other people need to know if you forgot about it or whatnot. I'm about to read some of it, right? So this is off of history.com. I saw some other educated sources. They pretty much said the same thing. And so just to sum it up real quick. So after Juneteenth was declared, that slaves were free, right? Of course, everybody didn't like that. Everybody didn't agree. Mostly the Confederate states, the Southern states, did not agree with that, because that was their labor force. That was how they were making their money, right? And so you done took my money away. Oh, we about to make this hard for y'all, for real, right? And so this is where a thing called Black Codes was created. I'm reading it off the screen right now. And so if you never heard of Black Codes were restrictive laws designed to limit the freedom of African Americans and ensure their availability as a cheap labor force after slavery was abolished during the Civil War. And if you read further down, it says, under Black Codes, many states required Blacks to sign yearly labor contracts. If they refused, they risked being arrested, fined, and forced into unpaid labor, right? So that's just a little bit of it. And if you continue to read further down, it says in the following years during the Reconstruction period, this is when, Juneteenth happened, and Johnson, he was president at the time now, because Lincoln got assassinated back in April of 1865. Johnson came to play, and so he was doing the Reconstruction period trying to set everything up accordingly. So it says in the following Reconstruction period, the South reestablished many of the provisions of the Black codes in form of so-called Jim Crow laws. And these remained firmly in place for almost a century, but were finally abolished with the passage of the Civil Rights Act in 1964. So Civil Rights Act of 1964. And I'm just like, 1964, like, you know how you remember stuff, but it's just, it doesn't click as to how short of a time. Like, that was not that long. That wasn't that long ago, y'all. That was not long ago. In 1964, that was not long ago. Crazy, right? And so, anyway, if you don't know what Jim Crow laws are, the Jim Crow laws were a collection of state and local statutes that legalize racial segregation. And one last thing I wanted to point out, how the term of how Jim Crow came about was that it was named after a Black minstrel show. And so minstrel shows like singing, dancing, all that kind of stuff. And the show depicted, it was a white person that was pretending to be Black. So they painted the Black face. They were painted all Black and pretty much demeaning African Americans, making them look like we were lazy. We didn't want to do anything. You know, we were dumb, all that kind of stuff. Right? Again, all negative stuff. Mind you, we are free now. And yet, immediately right after that, laws were immediately put up to stop us and hinder us from growing. They did not want to see us succeed. Why? Because they were pissed at the fact that I'm no longer able to make money off of you. Okay, so if I can't make money off of you in this type of way, we're going to do it in this type of way. So now they put up laws where we have to sign contracts in order to work, or if we want to move to another job, we have to make sure we finish out the first contract at the old job and then be able to move at the new job. And the new owner or the new CEO, whatever you want to call it, had to confirm with the old owner. It was just like, and it's like, as you start to see those things and think about it in modern time, that's still the same process today. If you were to move and leave, go to another company, what they ask for references, what they ask for, who was your manager, what company did you work for, who was your boss, so that way they can go ahead and fact check to make sure, oh yeah, so-and-so worked at this job, how well did she do the job, or how well did he do the job? Things of that nature, same concept, just in modern time, right? And it was just like crazy. Just crazy making those connections. And it makes me want to dive further into this, which I am, just so I can have a clear understanding of my history. And that's bad to say, but it's like when you're in school, all you learn about is white history, right? They talk about slavery and how bad it was and so on and so forth, but then they talk about what's his name? Columbus, and how he discovered America, and how this and how that, and how it was pretty much all white history. Not that much Black history. You can barely find any type of African American history classes in high school. Most schools didn't have those. My school luckily did have it, so I did end up taking that, maybe taking that course, and learning a little bit more about my history. But if it wasn't for that, if I'm just based off U.S. history, I don't know nothing. Again, I went to school to pass the class. I went to school to learn what I needed to learn so I could pass the class and move on. And so I'm training myself to change that mindset and that mentality, because even that was the same concept even throughout college. It was just like, it's too much going on. You don't have enough time to try to dive into everything. When you got your 3 to 4 different classes talking about read 5 chapters a night. Bruh, who about to do this? And then you gonna sit here and give me a test, and it ain't gonna be on nothing that I read in the book. It's all about your lectures. What? No, I'm about to scan these lectures real quick and be on about my business. But I digress. Anyway, so again, if you don't know anything about any of this stuff, just Google, find some books, learn about your history, learn more about Black codes, learn more about the Jim Crow laws and how that, and just watch how watch how you're able to make those connections to today's time. It was something else that I was reading about in regards to a lot of these black codes, where if pretty much if we didn't follow the rules, we got, extremely large sentences and been put into prison for something small, while our white counterparts could have done the same crime, but just got pushed off. Like, oh, it's okay. You're on probation. Something similar to that. You know what I'm saying? I was just skimming on that part, but I'm definitely going to go back to reading more about it. And I plan on buying some more books to learn more about my history. And that's sad to say, I'm 30 years old and I never really actually dived in, learn about who I am, who my people are, what struggles they dealt with, the transitions into today, what has taken place. And I feel like once you learn where you come from, you can figure out where you need to be, and you can figure out how you can help push change, right? Because if you don't know what's going on and why things happened, it's hard for you to really be able to pick up and figure out, okay, this is where we need to go next, and this is what we need to do next. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, if you know though, now you know. That's just a little tidbit of something that I learned today. And I encourage you to go out and do the same. Learn your history, learn who you are, so you can become a better you and educate someone else. That's my goal. I want to continue to educate. And it's crazy because I got my bachelor's in elementary education and I'm not a teacher, but it's okay. It's okay. I do want to try to educate other people. As I learn, I'm going to share with y'all and encourage y'all to do more studying as well. So anyway, happy Juneteenth, everybody. I hope you guys all stay safe. If you're going out to celebrate, because I've seen some parades and get-togethers and things happening going on, please make sure you protect yourselves, cover your mouths, do whatever you need to do, because the corona's still out here, okay? I know everything is opening up, but the corona's still here. All right, so y'all be safe, wash your hands, don't be nasty, and just have a good time. And I'll see y'all next time.